Hi there, it's Sam from Pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's project is a little darling envelope punchboard tea light box, but it's for a specific kind of tea light, and that is for the Yankee candle tea lights that you get. It's a box of 12 and they are the little plastic cup ones, so might be good for chandlers who make tea lights in little plastic cups that are of the same dimensions. Or maybe the IKEA ones would work, but these were specifically for the IKEA ones. So this is the vanilla lime, picked them up at an outlet shop. £6 for 12, that's 50p each, love it. And inside this one, so it's plain on the outside, but the colour of the little heart inside kind of belies what's going to be inside. And inside my one, I have this flavour, so you can see what I've done there. Oh, so clever. Night of Navy there. And it's kind of a night of navy colour. Oh, and it's very pungent. It's just wafted up at me. Blackberry jam, I think that one is, something like that. And as I've opened the box, I've had a little sniff. But anyway, it's really cute. Great favours, great little mini gifts. I'm going to show you how to make it. And it's, like I said, it's an envelope punchboard project. So the piece of cardstock you need is 4 1/8 of an inch by 4 1/8 of an inch, which is 10.5 by 10.5 centimetres. So you're going to get 4 of these from a piece of cardstock. Great, perfect. And you line it up at the 1.5 inch mark, which is 3.8 centimetres. Punch it and score, and then you slide it along to 2 5/8 of an inch, which is 6.7. Punch and score, and then you rotate and follow it round. You just keep going. And so my first box was made with smoky slate as the base. And then I've got silver as the scallop circle, then basic grey, and then I've got the night of navy and the smoky slate again. And like I say, I went with a little heart being the colour, so that it kind of gave you a little hint of what was inside. So I'm going to round my corners, and you can bash loads of these out in no time. If you were going to do them as wedding favours or party favours or something like that, you just sit and do your scoring and everything. One evening watching telly, maybe. So this one's crumb cake that I've got here, so slightly different. So fold your score lines. Okay, and then cut up the sides, so it doesn't matter which side you go, but just cut so you're left and right, so the same either side, and then the same on the mirror image. There we go, and then that is what's going to stick round like that. So we're going to put a little bit of adhesive on here, so I'm going to get my mini glue dots. And I like mini glue dots with envelope punchboard projects. So on the underside of these tabs that are closest to you, and they are going to fold in round, so that's going to make the box base. And then these parts here, you fold the left and the right, and then that one up. So I'm going to put a little mini glue dot over on that side. And then one under what is the bottom of the box, or what I'm calling the bottom of the box. Fold it over, fold it over. Grab your tea light. Fits in absolutely perfectly. Not a little, no room for manoeuvre. What size is the box when it's completed though? It is 1.5 by 1.5 by 3/4 of an inch. There you go. That's the sizing of it when it's finished. So that's going to be 4 by 4 by 2, I think, centimetres. Let's get the metric ruler out. That was 4 by 4 by 2. Oh, I'm getting good at these instant changes in my head. Okay, I've got some beautiful satin ribbon here, and I'm just going to wrap it round. I'm not going to have it overlapping. Oh, I've just cut that down. let's try that again. I'm not going to have it overlapping because I don't want it too bulky, but having it meeting would be a good idea. Right, so again, break out the mini glue dots. And I'm trying to get it so, right. There we go. So that's meeting in the middle but not overlapping. Now it's just a case of punching. So we've got 5 punches to create our little decoration on top. But 5 of my most popular ones. And I've actually had to write it in order of, on my notes, it's which order I need to go in. So I need my biggest one, my 1 1/4 inch scallop, is the one that's going to punch out my silver glimmer. One of those, and then the next one down is the 1 inch, and I've gone for a darker tone than the base of the box, same as I've done here. So this is soft suede. One of those, and then I need the coloured bit is the 3/4 inch. And then for the tiny scallop that's on the top is the same colour as the base of the card, but you need to cut your heart out first. So you cut your heart and then come around it with your scallop, 7/8 of an inch scallop circle, so that you know you've got it lined up. So that's how you create your little aperture. And then we'll just put it all together now. So I'm going to grab my dimensionals. So the first one to go down is the darker tone onto the glimmer paper. The coloured one is going to go directly onto that, so I'm just going to use a glue dot. So that's going to sit flush on there. And then depending on how handy you are at cutting tiny, tiny little pieces of dimensional, you hide these bits into where you've got little gaps, because obviously we don't want them to be seen. But we do want to lift this bit up. It's all a wonderful optical illusion. There you go, peel those bits off. And that goes over the top. Oops. And then a whole raft of glue dots all over the back of this to stick it well and truly down to your box and onto the ribbon. Could probably use something like sticky strip. I've got the mini glue dots out, so right, that's the top. So I need to have it that way, and that has covered up the join of the ribbon, so it just looks like it's one continual piece. And that's a really cute little favour with a little heart inside that's going to give you a little hint of what's inside. I think that's sweet, isn't it? I love it. Anyway, thank you ever so much for joining me, and I hope to speak to you soon. Bye.